Hey guys, Sebbies is back. Thank you for clicking on my... Guess I got a ghost up in this piece. Thank you for clicking on this video, and yeah, I hope this video finds you all doing well. So I have a little bit of housekeeping to do before we get into the actual content of today's video. It seems, people, that the channel has hit 500 subscribers. Yay! So I just want to thank all of you guys, past and present, for subbing to this channel. And anyone who knows me knows that I'm not excited about having 500 subscribers for the sake of a number. But what is inevitably linked to that number is actually a person, right? Each 500 of you represents an actual real-life person with whom I have the opportunity to interact with, to have stimulating discussions with, to just bond with. And so that is really what gets me excited about having 500 subscribers. There are 500 of you now. How crazy is that? I love it. So thank you very much. And yeah, please continue to comment and like and share my videos with anyone that you think may benefit from them. Alright, let's move on to today's topic. So, kind of continuing on in the spirit of the series that I've been trying to do. You know, I said I was going to focus more on content for the newbies. And who knows, it may help some of you vets as well. I thought it's important to talk about things that I actually use to protect my locks at night and in the daytime. So, let's get to it. Sebbies is here. Welcome to my channel. By the way, how was that new intro? You guys like that? I'm digging that new intro. Okay, so let me get off of myself. And now, okay, so yeah, I just want to show you some of the things that I use to cover my locks, you know, in the daytime, but especially at night, every single night. And you know, some people are more visual, so I have the different things that I use with me, and I'm going to actually be putting them on so you can see how they, you know, go on and what they look like and all that. So the first one is the good old Satin Bonnet. And these are not, I'm not showing these in order of preference. I'm just kind of grabbing them. Alright, so the good old Satin Bonnet. The thing that I don't like about this, and I've spoken about this in previous videos, is this little ribbing in here. It not only leaves imprints in my skin, but it actually kind of hurts a little bit. I mean, you know, I'm not some wuss or something. I can take the pain. Not that there's a lot of pain, but it's just, it's like a slight irritation, and you're aware of its presence. So that's what I don't like about this. But this, you know, this, I have to give it its props. It stays on. It leaves room for my locks to move around at night. It's satin, so you know, it protects my locks from drying out and from thinning out and breaking and stuff, and it's just a great product. So yeah, this is how I put it on. Kind of put it on like that, and then I will tuck the locks in all around. I understand that this type of video has the potential to get really long, so I'll probably do some cutting, but and then I make sure all the locks are in, because sometimes you'll find a lock hanging out, you know. So yeah, and this is how I wear it at night. Alright, so the Satin Bonnet, and I wear this a lot of times, actually all the time, under my Timbs now. So the next thing that I found recently is the, I guess it's a reversible satin bonnet and sleeping cap. Now, I don't know what the difference is between a satin bonnet and a sleeping cap. I thought if it was a satin bonnet, then it's a satin bonnet, and you can use a satin bonnet as a sleeping cap. So kind of they're one and the same. But the cool thing about this is that it's reversible. So you know, you can turn it on the outside. Now, before you come at me, I don't think it's cool. I don't think this pattern is cool. This pattern is annoying to me. I think it's like roses or something. But I know you ladies love your prints and designs and all that. But what I do think is cool about this product is that because it's reversible, that ribbing, right? So this is one side, that's the current outside, and then on the inside, where it's all red, okay? That ribbing that was annoying my, you know, my forehead and stuff, it's being covered, right? By the cloth on both sides. So this was, when I saw this, even though I don't really care for this pattern, and I just wear the red, because I think the red is kind of hot. When I saw that that ribbing wasn't exposed, and you can kind of see it on the side, from the side, see that right there? That's the ribbing. But it's not exposed, it's not touching my skin directly. I was like, this is where it's at. So, yeah, if it's on the same way, just tuck your locks in. And this one fits a little bit more snugly. I think it's because I haven't broken it in, but also because it's essentially two satin bonnets, or a satin bonnet and a nightcap in one. But yeah, you know, it's really cool, and I don't feel that annoying digging into my skin with that ribbing. So yeah, a dual satin bonnet nightcap exists. So I do wear this sometimes. If I'm taking it a little old school, back earlier in my journey, I was all about the DreadSock, and yeah, this is really easy. You know, this is actually probably my favorite product. I just kind of got out of the habit of wearing it, but you just put it on, stuff your locks in. Actually, it might help to kind of throw your hair back and then stuff them in, but I didn't think of that, and it's been a while since I've done it, so I've gotten out of the habit of doing that. But it's very stretchy, and your locks can fill up this back area. And I have a longer one too, a blue one, royal blue one. So I'll use that once my locks get longer. But yeah, this is extremely, extremely comfortable. And this does not come off. Just like the two satin bonnets that I showed you before, they do not come off. So yeah, you might want to pick up a DreadSock, find them online, check out their site and stuff. So yeah, that's the DreadSock. Alright, before I knew about the DreadSock or the satin bonnets, I just had this, found it at a beauty supply store, like this satin black square. And what I do is I just kind of fold it in almost half, not complete half. And then I put it over like this, okay? And then I just tie it. One, two. And that's also how I tie my bandanas when I work out. Then I'll kind of pull it a little bit just to kind of make it a little less tight. And honestly, this is probably the most comfortable one. The DreadSock gives it a run for its money, but my locks get to hang out with this one. So this is probably the most comfortable one to sleep in, if I'm to be honest. But, you know, since I want to protect my locks, I try not to use this one too often. Also, this one does have the potential to slip off. So I end up waking up in the middle of the night when I don't feel anything on my head and I'm like panicked. I'm like, oh shoot, you know, it came off. So that's the one downside to this, but this is probably my favorite. Next, moving on. I know there's so much stuff there's so many things you can use to protect your locks at night with, right? So, the huge squares, right? The one women use for head wraps and stuff a lot of times. Now, I've only used this a couple of times. I ordered a whole bunch of these and this just happens to be one of them. But and I'm not good at, you know, securing it yet because I don't use it that often. I'm kind of waiting until my locks get like super long and then I'll actually need all this cloth. But you kind of just fold it in half, or almost half, kind of like I did with the previous one. Actually, I'll try to fold this one more in half because it's so big. Okay? And then what I will do is put it, I know it's so big, right? I'm gonna look in the mirror, you guys. Put it over my head like that. And then I'm gonna go behind my ears like that on both sides. By the way, I don't know why I'm turning into a zombie right here. This is where it gets a little tough because it's just so much cloth that you're working with. But you're gonna kind of cross over and grab the cloth from one side with the other hand and do the same thing with the cloth from the other side. And then you pull this down to kind of re-secure it and then tie it again. Or tie it, period, not again. Now tie it again. I just do like I'm tying my shoe, that kind of knot, so it can come out really easily. Okay, so you have all this now, right? And this probably looks funny because I don't have a lot, like my locks aren't super long. But for someone who has super long locks, you know, they need all this. So then I'll just have them gather the locks, gather the cloth, make sure, you know, they're all in there and protected. I mean, that's why I'm wearing it, right? And then I bring it to the front and tuck it in. So this is how, and just make sure all the locks are in there. So this is how you can use one of those big square scarves. And as I said, I don't use this one super often. I've only used it once because I was excited that the product came in the mail and I was like, I gotta try it out. But then when I started to work with it, I'm like, this is so much freaking cloth, you know? And it's not like I'm trying to do one of those elaborate like head wraps that women do, right? I just want to cover my locks at night. It don't take all that, right? Give me my DreadSock, give me, you know, this much fabric, and or give me my Satin Bonnet and I'm good to go. But yeah, for you guys starting out, you may not have anything, but you may have a mom or sister or somebody that has one of these. So this is how you can secure your locks until you're able to get something that, you know, is a little bit easier to work with. Alright guys, so I have shown you the various things that I use to cover my head at night, and it's always good to have an assortment, or at least, you know, multiple, so that you have a window of opportunity to actually wash them. And so there's a rotation. You always have something to cover your head at night, even when you have to wash it. So if none of those things work for you, if you just cannot stand having something on your head at night, the last thing that you can pull out, you know, out of your arsenal is a satin pillowcase. Okay? So this, you know, if you're sleeping on it, now you're just like, you know, but your locks are, you know, they're sliding and gliding around and, you know, enjoying themselves, not drying out, right? So that is what I would suggest. If you just cannot stand anything on your head, at the very least, get a satin pillowcase or silk one. I think those are a little bit more expensive, but you know, a satin pillowcase, and then you don't necessarily have to wear anything. A lot of times what I will do is, you know, I told you I have this one, right? So, and this is the most comfortable one for me. So what I do is, you know, I put this on, tie it, and I told you the downside to this one is that your locks hang out. But I don't have to worry about that when I have my satin pillowcase, right? Because these locks that are hanging out, what are they touching? They're touching the satin pillowcase. So everything is still gravy, all is still well in the world, and my locks are still in good shape. Alright, I thought lastly it would be helpful to show you something that I would advise against using. So I found this at the store. It's kind of like, I don't know, that stocking material. But, you know, I think some people use it for their dreadlocks, which is why it's this long. But as I said, it's made out of that stocking material. And if you have stocking material nearby, if you stretch it out, I can't show you on this camera. I don't think it gets that fine, but you know. And if you don't, get a stocking in, experiment. When you stretch it out, you see all these little bitty spaces, right, in the material. And it's stretched out, so it makes that space, right? So you put it on your head, it's stretched out, those holes are open, you open it up, right? So those spaces are open. Then you put it on your hair, the hairs go into those spaces, right? And it's fine while it's stretched out. But what happens when you pull it off of your head? Well, as you're pulling it off your head, it starts to close, right? Which means the holes the spaces are getting smaller, right? But your hairs are already in those spaces, and so as it closes on your hairs, they're going to get trapped. So you're taking it off, it's closing, and then you pull it off. Guess what? Those hairs are going to be also pulled out from your scalp when you wear this type of material. And Yanni spoke about this on her channel, and it makes complete sense. So some people have actually encountered thinning of their locks, and they can't figure out why, because they're pretty much doing everything else right. It never occurred to them that, you know, the good old stocking cap, something we used to use for waves, right, can actually be detrimental to your locks. So for the dudes out there who aren't trying to buy a DreadSock, you know, you're not trying to buy this, you're not trying to sport a satin bonnet, even if it is reversible and has a nice rose print on one side. You know, you're not trying to do all that, but you're like, I got my stocking cap, that'll work. Just be mindful that, you know, you could be thinning your hair out. So, yeah, steer clear of that. Whew, bye. Alright, that is it for this video. Hopefully it was helpful, and hopefully you had fun watching me be silly as I demonstrated how to wear these different head coverings. So yeah, as always, drop down below in the comment section below and give me any thoughts you may have. And please learn to love unconditionally, because loving with conditions conditions the heart to not really love at all. Sebbies is out.